Fadeout, a Day Brandstetter mystery, Book 1, author Joseph Hansen, publisher, University of Wisconsin Press, Terrace Books, 1970, narrator Eric Aust. Chapter 8. The sun was hot. On a flat, smooth stretch of lawn, a gaunt old man threw his cane hard and a long way. Two dogs chased it, big lean dogs, hounds of some kind, rough blue-gray coats. They moved clumsily, like rusty machines, but fast. One of them got the cane and came back with it to the old man. It was a heavy cane, but in the dog's jaw, it looked fragile. The other dog stood where the cane had been and made a hoarse rumbling sound that was supposed to be barking. The old man took the cane from the first dog and grabbed its collar. He heaved the cane to the other dog. Holding the collar hampered his throw, so the cane didn't go as far this time. The free dog shambled to it, picked it up, came back with it. Dave had been following the housekeeper, a middle-aged Mexican woman, square-built, the color and hardness of mahogany. There was flour on her hands, her apron, a streak of it in her hair, and when they came through the kitchen, there was the smell of baking. Now, as they neared the old man, Dave could hear him breathing hard. The Mexican woman said, "The cane is to help you walk. You will kill yourself throwing." "Oh, go back in the house," the old man spoke without even glancing at her. "Leave me be." He bent and took the cane from the second dog. "Goddamn rain kept me pinned up inside for 10 days. Man's got to have exercise. Dog's got to have exercise." He threw the cane again. It cut the air with a whining sound. The dogs creaked after it. The old man turned, grinning like a kid. A sick kid. "Hell, Carmelita, I never felt better in my..." He saw Dave. His face kept the smile the way an old barn keeps a sign. "Howdy!" It was a question. Dave told him who he was and what he wanted. Loomis's eyes went prairie flat. "Clear off," he said. Go home and tell your outfit my son-in-law is dead." "If he's dead," Dave said, "where's his body?" Loomis's leather mouth opened, but it said nothing. He shut it with a click of false teeth and sourly held out his hand. It was bone and gristle, very big, a plow hand. One of the dogs brought back the cane. It had a brown rubber tip. The old man took it, leaned on it, and headed for the house, which was ugly, Spanish, colonial, fierce. While in the sun, the cold, bare room he called his office had only one decoration on the wall, a shotgun in a rack. He sat at the blank-looking green metal desk in a metal pasture chair that squeaked. He nodded at a metal straight chair. Dave sat on that. "All right," Loomis said. "His body should have been in that there wash. It wasn't, but he never run off. That just plain don't make sense." "What does make sense?" Loomis's slat shoulders moved inside the buttoned-up sweater that said as much as anything about him, that he was a sick old man. "Maybe Lloyd Chalmers killed him." Dave narrowed his eyes. "Are you serious?" "There's a new junior college going to be built in Pima. That'll mean a multi-million-dollar construction contract. Lloyd'll be due for that, like he's due for every building job that comes along around here." "Aren't there sealed bids? Lloyd's always turn out to be the lowest." Loomis's smile was wry and didn't last. "There's a freeway coming through this valley, too. One way or another, they're after me for a strip of my land." He swiveled the stiff little chair and stared out at the window, at the staked vine rows slanting up toward the brushy humps of mountain. "But that don't make no never mind. Wherever they route it, Lloyd'll get the contract, provided he's in charge of things at City Hall." "Who would get the contracts if he wasn't? If Fox Olson had won the election?" "No. If about it." The old man faced him proud. "He had it won. Lloyd knew that. He's pretty took up with what a great man he is, but he ain't stupid. He'd resort to murder." Loomis's laugh was a crackle of dry twigs, but it didn't change. His face, his forehead furrowed. "Only thing wrong is if he did, he'd do a good job. No loose ends. He'd never fake a car crash, then take away the driver's body. Nah. The big dog sprawled gaunt at Loomis's feet, flat on their sides like starvation victims. The old man leaned down and stroked one of them. Regret was in his voice. I'd like for the son of a bitch to get the gas chamber, but he won't. Leastways not for this, Dave asked. Why the deep affection for Lloyd Chalmers? I'm a dirty, ignorant okie to him. Was to start with, always. Will be. The Chalmers clan had been the big power in Pima for 70 years before I come along. Me, Hap Loomis. I'm kind of a bad dream. Far as them and the McNeils and their crowd are concerned. They think one of these mornings they'll wake up and find me gone. Used to be a lot of Japs out here before the war. Never looked down on them like they do on me. Hell, I own half this valley. I could buy and sell a lot of them. But let me show up out at their goddamn country club and they scatter like pullets when a skunk gets in the hen house. It was a big jug of bitterness, but now he tired of pulling at it and set it down. What was it you asked me? Why wouldn't Chalmers get the contract, even if Fox Olson became mayor? Fox wasn't in the building business. His son-in-law is starting. Phil Mundy? Is he capable? He's awfully young, 23, but he's already Chalmers' chief accountant. Started building on apartment before he even married. Ambitious, Dave said. Do you like him? Loomis's smile was one-cornered. I never feel real easy about a man that's too smart with figures. My granddaughter Gretchen came to me for a loan. I told her no. Not for Phil Mundy. You didn't like her marrying him? You've seen that mother of his? That crippled kid? Loomis snorted, feeling sorry for a man's a piss-poor reason to marry him. Did she get the loan from her father? He couldn't give it to her. Thorne managed the money. Wouldn't she lend it? She wouldn't even speak to Gretchen. She liked her marrying Phil Munday the way I liked her marrying Fox Olson. That's something, ain't it? Life plays funny tricks. Sometimes not so funny, Dave said. Loomis's muddy eyes regarded him wisely. Them are the ones you got to laugh at hardest. I never will, Dave thought. Not about Rod dying. He said, there was somebody you wanted Thorne to marry. She told me, but she didn't tell me who. Hale McNeil. It started when they was in high school. He took her out there 4 times. Thorne had to sneak to do it. She was too young, only 15. When I found out about it, I told Charlie McNeil unless he stopped Hale, I'd horsewhip the boy. McNeil didn't like it coming from me, but I had her right on my side. Hale laid off. And married someone else, Dave nodded. Mildred Fisher, cheap tinsel. Things went all right till the army camp came. She couldn't keep away, not from the honky-tonks either. Dozen of them on Main Street then. So, Hale shucked her. Mouth a wide, sad line. Loomis shook his head. No surprise, the boy turned out like he done. McNeil seems bitter about him, Dave said. Why? 10, 11 years ago, local doctor got caught with the boy. Sex. Of course, Hale wanted to believe it was the man's fault. Wasn't. Come out at the trial, one high school kid says Tad serviced the football team regularly on the bus coming home nights from out-of-town games. There was half a dozen other stories. Shame of it. Killed Charlie. Hale, well, you don't mention Tad to Hale. Pima folks know that. You hear a joke about queers. Don't tell him. He won't laugh. What became of Mildred Fisher, McNeil? Story goes she was pregnant. Soft-hearted. Fellow by the name of Vince Munday. Married her. He had a little place on the edge of town. Walnuts, some citrus. Real pretty. He'd been all right in time, had a good head on him, but Mildred finished that off. Finally, he took to drinking as much as she did, and when that second baby, his own, was born a cripple, he walked out and never came back. Dave blinked. Then She's Phil Monday's mother. Not much of a beauty now, is she? Loomis has snorted. No. But wait, there's something I don't understand. It was after the divorce that Hale McNeil came back for your daughter. Loomis nodded. Soon as Thorne graduated from high school, he asked her to marry him. She turned him down. I know she liked him, loved his baby too. It was Pima she hated. When I tried to talk sense to her, she flared up about rich men's sons being no account, and a whole lot of horse shit like that. Anyhow, he shifted his bones and the chair squeaked. She done what she always done when I give her advice, the opposite. She run off to L.A. and married Fox Olson. What made McNeil offer Olson the radio job? He done it for Thorne. Loomis cracked his big knuckles methodically, thoughtfully watching them. Then he looked up. He's still in love with her. But why did she accept? Loomis shrugged. Guess she was fed up with living on hope. When she got a look at how Hale McNeil lived, he started out the window again. There were runnels of shadow in the mountains now. Hell, her man had nothing past 40 years old, and nothing to show. The top of the hill was got to be just ahead at 40. But Fox was still at the bottom. He wasn't going to reach the top, pushing a typewriter. Guess she decided he might pushing a guitar. How did he react to the offer? Says thanks, but no thanks. Loomis grinned and hung up. You don't mean it. Fact. Loomis's eyes laughed, remembering. Well, Thorne was all over him. It's the chance of a lifetime, she says, and he better grab it. He stands there with his jaw hanging. He can't figure it. A while back, when all these coffee houses started up and all the kids singing and playing what they call folk songs, he wants to give up writing and go out to do that. She near killed him. She claims she never, but I kind of guess he told it like it happened. So they argued about this, only till he was sure she meant it. Then he give a shrug and that grin of his and picked up the phone and says to Hale that he'll give it a try. And I'll hand it to him. He done fine. I did hand it to him. We got to be real good friends, and him being my son-in-law, a lot of people that wouldn't give me the time of day before, they turned real neighborly and respected all of a sudden. Guess I could have run for mayor myself, he chuckled sourly, then tilted his head, blinking. Queer thing, though, about Thorne. She never listened. I did. He jerked a work-flattened thumb at a radio on the desk, half buried among U.S. Agricultural Department bulletins. Never missed him on the air. But Thorne, she couldn't have cared less. Gay Mysteries audiobooks. I think it is easy to hate a label, but a face humanizes the word. So this effort is twofold. To offer comfort to those like myself that your world didn't end because you don't fit into the view of acceptable society on both sides. And in hopes of helping those with family that are LGBTQ, that it doesn't mean we are aliens from the child they once knew. Reassure them so they can maybe be supportive at the same time, being true to their values.